Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Salam.
wabarakatuh.
So back again
Uh,
to our podcast. Here I'm going to be the host and Randy will be the guest while Andra will be our note taker. So how is life everyone?
well, I'm good at least. Like I've been chilling out this end of the year stuff at home, vacation
I
at
see, I
home.
see. And Andra, how
Yeah,
How
about
about
I'm
you?
you?
I'm good, but I'm quite occupied by a lot of works
Oh, I
for
see.
both my company's work and college stuff.
I see, I see. Good luck on you, Andra.
All right, yeah, thank you so much.
So today's our topic will be how to conduct research or stuff. And Randia, can you please explain about that?
All right. So today we're going to talk about research and stuff, practical guidelines, perhaps for conducting research. The very first thing that I want to explain is uh, about the motivation behind this. All right, so research has been the domain of academics for very quite a long time, but truthfully I think research shouldn't be in academic only in academic terms, because have you ever seen like people in the maybe in social media asking something like, hey man, do your research first and stuff like that, but they only do like only reading some kind of posting on social media, some blog, which is not a good enough for research. Uh, but after all, you cannot expect some general people to do rigorous research. For example, like testing stuff, like right. I mean, it's going to be it's not just worth it, Especially research could be mean just reading some stuff, or in far extreme end is doing very rigorous writing for thesis or PhD stuff like that right now. So this time I just want to create some guideline for everyone, not only from academic perspective but also for general people who wants to do research. So, that's my plan actually. Like I compile it into a step by step. Um, so let me just explain it with my own entire screen. uh, yeah. So
Entire screen.
I don't know which one is better, but I already made this diagram,
Oh
which I
my
already showed
god.
to Adil yesterday. Um, but there are actually like several steps for doing research. I'm not going to show. I mean, this is just the general idea, but I'm going to show it one by one. For practical guide at research. So first of all, I think we should define what is research. Yeah, research. Define. So research could be mean something. Well, usually in the Oxford Dictionary, research means systematic study about things, right? It's about systematic study about things, generating insight. Something new knowledge or something new knowledge. But this kind of have its own new things to learn. It's kind of like it's kind of have a things that needs to be defined again. Like for example, what the meaning of new knowledge? Is it just for you or is it just for everyone? Or maybe what is the meaning of systematic study? What is study itself? And so on. But I think the best way to describe it. This is my own like arbitrary definition. I think study is just learning new things for yourself, and research is, uh, for me, is study generating a new knowledge for everyone, basically. I mean, generating new knowledge for you and for everyone. So if you do your own research for yourself, learning studies could be meaning that it is learning, it is research. That's what I think. Like
Wait. Hold on. So study is about learning something by ourselves, and
learning,
then
yeah, something. But research is just systematic study, systematic.
Wait, Andra, do you notice that Randy has? Oh yeah, you do know this about it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's wait
Hello, hello,
for
testing.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
we can hear you. Okay, so
Please tell us about something to make
Yeah, study is learning something new,
okay,
something
I can
something
hear you.
can is it it could be for you, it could be for anyone, but research is systematic study, study that has its own step by step, which is reasonable and logical. Basically, that's
and I think I want to add
mean.
something, Rand. It should be
Mm.
replicable.
Yeah, it should be replicable, when reasonable and replicable. Yeah, that's right, that's right, that's true. There are that are replicable and reasonable. Yeah, something like that. It's not about generating new knowledge. After all, you can do research to, for example, if I ask you like, if I want to research about something about electrical vehicle, like I might not know much about EV, but I can do my own research just for increasing. It is, some people may call this study, but I could call it research for myself, not for everyone, because I generate new knowledge from reading literature and stuff. For me, at least, not for everyone. But the academic research is is more like about getting new knowledge for everyone, especially in higher education level. For example, like in PhD, you need to create some novelty in research, generating very very novel uh, knowledge, basically. So there's that. There's the definition of research for to continue on. Now, for conducting research, you need start with research topic, right? I mean, okay. How about this? I'm just going to show the diagram for this. I'm not going to spend write it all down. But yeah, let's start with research topic selection. What do you think should be in the research topic selection, Adil and Andra? What do you think? Like, if you are doing research, what do you think should be when you selecting research topic?
Andra, you can go first. I kind
Re-
of forgot about
realistically.
it, but Andra should be the host, actually, not me.
Oh yeah, but okay, continue on. Andra, can you explain? What do you think, Andra?
Well, I think that yeah, I think the topic is about it should relate about the aim or the goal of the research itself.
Wait, where is
Mm-hmm.
Randy?
In addition,
Sorry.
okay, I will let Adil as the host for this time. I think
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
as
And
I
okay,
and my take.
Adil.
okay. So your question is, how do we determine the research topic? Is it your
Yeah.
question?
How? Yeah. I mean, realistically, how do you? You are in academic, right? Adil, you are a master student right now.
Yeah.
So can you tell me in academic settings, at least, like how do you select a research topic?
Okay. So first of all, of course, it comes with curiosity and also, like, how do I say it?
Hmm?
Urgency, like,
Urgency.
or
Urgency.
at least potential to be viral. You can say like
Ah.
that, like, so you kind of, whether you have to be curious and also know whether it will be very very valuable.
Hmm?
And after you know that topic, domain, or whatsoever you can call it, you gotta, you know, learn or research li- the recent literature or study or whatsoever the current state of the art of that topic of that domain. By maybe you can read systematic literature review, you can read yeah, literature review or
Mm-hmm.
book or whatsoever in Wikipedia at first, maybe. And after that, if it turns out the topic that you want to dive in hasn't really have any literature review, paper, book, whatsoever, you can create it by yourself and
Hmm?
see what is happening right now around that, you know, topic.
Ah,
After that, you you kind of make the research gap, and you have to determine what is the
that's
future work,
mm,
the direction of the research, and so on.
right.
I think that's how
That's
the research
That's
topic.
very concise and very beautiful answer. At least I think that is true for academic settings. Um, the main problem with not the main problem, the main concern about finding research topic. I like the first answer. The very like the first like not the first idea that you convey. Like the first one is you need to be curious about something. That's right. Usually in research you start with your need, right? I mean your need or your want. Like I want to research about this stuff, it could be the thing that you have some kind of background to. For example, like I am in computer science, Andra in chemistry, but it also could be anything that you decide to learn. For example, like I want to learn about EV. I want to learn about uh, the new battery and stuff. Or maybe I want to memorize Al Quran, but I don't know how, something like that. It could be anything that you want to research, but let's start with a general topic first that you want to. I want to research about this thing, and then after that, yeah. So first of all, you need to some kind of background or the motivation. Why do you want to research about this? For example, like I want to research about EV because EV sounds promising. Like just like you said, Adil, like you want to learn this because uh, maybe this topic is going to be have impact, a lot of impact, viral in the future. And the most importantly in research in at when selecting research topic is about question, research question, and purpose of study, of course. But I think the main point is going to be research question. Like when doing research, I think you should have some kind of question that you want to answer. That's the important part because what's the like I want to do EV, but I want to research EV, but I don't know what answer. What question do you want to answer in EV? Like you cannot expect people to say, "Oh yeah, I want to research EV," but first of all, but why? And second of all, what things that you want to research? What are the question that you want to answer? Because why would you research something that already has as an answer, right? I mean, that's at least in your mind, basically. Like, why I learn about 1 + 1 = 2 when I already learned about it in the past before, something
That's
like that.
true.
So yeah, so I think the most important is research question. When creating research topic, you should have research question. That's the most important part for general person, I guess, not in just academic settings, but also generally. In academic settings, of course, you need more in depth because you are trying to generate new knowledge for everyone. So the way that I think most people in academic settings do is actually picking general topics, leave the research question behind at first, and then go straight into literature review. And you learn about theoretical background. Or this is made also called related concept. You learn term about, for example, if you're researching about, let's say, compute EV, electric vehicle, you might learn about how batteries work, how like galvanic cell work, voltaic cell work, or maybe how does it work with the battery in cars, how the cars mechanic work, how brakes work, something like that. This is all related concept and stems from theoretical background. If you are researching about Al Quran, maybe memorizing Al Quran, you might learn about the idea of chapter one of Al Quran, which is Al Fatihah and Al Baqarah and stuff like that. Or maybe you learn more like the pesantren way of memorizing Al Quran, for example, like the Wahhabi method and so on and so forth. In computer science, there are also for example, like me, outlier detection. You might learn about this, what is outlier, what is and stuff like it. I can go on, and this is related concept. And for your academic, I mean, it's for everyone, but usually for academic settings, you also need to learn about state of the art research, right? What's the current research going on there? what's the important things that what are the current part of the research right now. And lastly, you might want to learn about research method. This is not as important as these two. I mean, the theoretical matter is perhaps the most important. This one is for academic setting is important too, but this one is just for how do you research next. And this encompasses all of literature review, and you might go back to research topic selection. For example, if you
Wait,
find
hold on, Ren. I'm really
huh?
sorry to say this,
Yeah, sorry,
but
sorry. Yeah.
so first of all, we have to know our motivation to do the research,
Yeah.
and after that, we make the
Mhm.
research question.
Yeah.
After that, we do what? Do purpose of
It's
study
not
or theoretical background or what?
no. So this tree is not in order. Basically, you just have some kind of idea of why you wanna do, what do you want to answer, and why. So what is the background of the motivation? It doesn't matter which order do you want, but after that you might want to review some of the literature. Sometimes even like reading after you have question is answerable in this theoretical background, and that's enough for most people, and we call that is a study. Basically learning new concept, and that's fine. But sometimes not every question is answerable, and you probably after that you need do a real research after that. But also maybe you don't have maybe your research question already answerable in this state of the art, but you want to continue move forward, so you basically go back from literature review to back to research topic selection. That's what usually uh, academic settings will do, right? I
All
mean,
right, all
you
right.
yeah. Mm.
So you mean in the topic selection,
Mhm.
we can do background or motivation, and then research question, and then purpose of study. As for the
Yes.
literature review, we do theoretical background, state of the art research, and research methods. Is that?
Yes.
Oh, I see. I see. I've
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, and it also you can go iteratively. Like
Oh yeah,
you you
iteratively.
Before
you
I think
pick.
that the
Mm,
background and motivation, as well as theoretical background, as well as state of the art
Oh,
research,
I see. I
etc., are
see.
included in the first stage, Adil, in the
mm,
topic selection.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
after we already determined the topic selection, we can continue our step to literature review. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
and you
yeah, yeah.
you also could go back from literary
Can.
review to research topic selection if you want to improve, like change a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
All right.
get it.
All
I
right.
get it.
For example, after I like maybe I want to research about a galvanic voltaic cell. After you have this research question, but after you reading the theoretical background, you have, oh yeah, so it already explained it in this paper or book or something like that, and you want, but this raised a new question, which is what is the best optimized battery, for example. Like you could go back to research
I
topic
get it. I
selection
get
and
it.
go
I get
on,
it.
and yeah, and after you pick the one that you like it the most, sorry, pick the one that fits your research, you can go to research methodology and design. And
Oh.
this is the part where you choose how do you want to research. Like for example, usually in academic settings you would like pick a methodology that already well reasonable, which is actually reasonable, logical, and replicable, right? I mean, uh, you won't want the study not being applicable. For example, like in one of the methodology is quantitative method, which is you perform some kind of test, you have some kind of metrics available as a number, and you compare it which one is better or not. And that's one of the way of doing research methodology. And yeah, so methodology just meant how do you want to do this study. uh, in math research, usually you just want to prove, for example, this equation, I want to prove it, is it true or not, which with logical step one by one, and that's fine too. Every research has their own methodology basically. And after you do methodology, you need to create research design. This is the implementation basically. So methodology is the general way, the justification why you choose this methodology, and design is how you, with your situation right now, how you would you design this research. For example, I might, if I want to test battery, which battery has the long, uh, the long is which the battery is better for EV electric vehicle. I might test it with some kind of metrics, which is quantitative study, quantitative methodology, of course. But the design, and I will have some kind of performance measure. For example, like how how big the capacity and how long it will be the lifetime, the battery lifetime, and so on. But the design is going to be how I would implement that test, basically. Like, uh, for example, I might test it with draining, how much I drain the battery on and on for each type of battery and stuff like that. So methodology is the
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 general term.
not, yeah, general term perhaps, but more specifically, it's like how would you sorry, not how do you do, how would you do it, and design is how would you implement, how to create the design itself, like how would you create the test itself, basically.
Okay, so evaluation stage is in methodology. Like,
Evaluation, yeah, so yeah, from this research method you can go choosing research methodology.
All right.
okay, and let's say this an AI research. So the
Mhm.
neural network architecture is in the design or in
Yeah.
methodology? Is in research design or
For
in research methodology?
So the way that I think is, for example, in AI, you might want to test several types of model. Yeah, right. I
Right.
mean, uh, the part, the methodology will be not the how would you compare each models. For example, like if neural network, you want to compare many types of many types of AI model, and then you choose some performance measure, for example, like accuracy or
F1
maybe
score.
precision call F1 score, and that's fine. But creating research design means that you create a test itself, like, oh, so I choose 10 AI model, and then I use this data for testing, and then I use this computer with this specification. So it's the concrete implementation rather than
Oh, the
just
concrete
the
literally you
methodology that you
do
want
the
to use.
implement. So like you first you plan it, right? And planning is in
Yeah,
methodology
so
part,
method.
while in the actual experiment,
So
doing the actual experiment is in the research design. Is that how you define these two terms? Or
what
am I
I
wrong?
meant is,
Oh my
I
god.
think that's not correct. I think you are not really correct. What I mean is, what method do you want to use is the methodology,
Oh,
but research design, how would you design the test itself, basically. Like, if testing AI model with this performance measure is the methodology, the design will be, I use this computer to test this AI model. The plan,
You repeat it.
it's not doing, basically, like.
yeah, okay,
Sorry,
both
can you repeat it
are.
your statement because I found it
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
confusing, man.
Andra, you
Okay,
found it
okay,
confusing?
sorry about that, but research methodology is meant to be the justification
Alright,
why you
alright.
use this
Okay, okay.
method.
I'm really sorry to interrupt you there.
Interrupt.
Ren.
Hmm.
But do you make these two terms in your bachelor thesis?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is one of the term that you study at the. I mean, I asked my supervisor, like, what is different between design and methodology?
Oh, I see. So that's why you kind of separate these two terms.
Yeah, methodology is the justification, not the justification. It's why it's like how you generally test this the research. You know, like generate like how this method is going to answer the question. But design is the concrete implementation of the methodology. Like you can always say to do this research, you can compare these two results,
Okay, okay,
right?
okay. And
That's the
so what's the difference between research, environment or whatsoever? Is it basically the same in the,
environment is part of
part of
research
design?
design.
So it is a subset of it.
Yeah, so
Oh, I
method
see.
methodology is the background of the how apa, like the theoretical ways to do research. Design is more like in your situation, how would you do
Oh yeah,
create the
I
research?
think I get it. I think I get it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
so
I
well,
can.
I think that basically the research design is the concrete way or
Yeah.
the narrow way
Yes.
from or as derivation of choosing research methodology.
Yes, that's correct, Andra.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. I
Oh,
think.
okay, got
Mm.
it. All right.
Yes. Yeah, it stems from the research methodology
Why don't
and
you
also
write research experiment instead? I mean, it's kind of more.
because
Uh,
not all research has experiment. For example,
oh,
math research is only like steps and steps on logic, you know.
oh, I
I
see, I
don't
see.
yeah, so I don't really so in math research you have these lemmas and lemmas and uh not hypothesis, like more like conjecture to be put in there. It's different than research experiment.
Wait, hold
Mm.
on. So you mean like if we are a mathematician, when we write a paper, we need to do the,
Mhm.
methodology and stuff, or why cannot we just getting straight
Skip.
into the proof instead? It is.
Good idea. Because usually methodology in math research is far more like it's kind of since it's theoretical and by nature, usually we don't really use the quote methodology and design by itself because it's kind of squished into one, you know, like because there are no concrete implementation. It's just working out the math basically, like using this idea compare this idea. However, it is like you can say that the methodology and design is the same in mathematical research and maybe in some areas too, but however I want to reiterate that some in most area, especially in scientific like physics or computer science or maybe in chemistry, they usually have methodology as the basis of the research,
Yeah.
and the implementation design, the research your research environment or the scope of your
I see.
research basically.
So you make you made two sections in your bachelor thesis in the you know
No, you don't have to,
chapter 3.
but yeah, but in one chapter I use implement design and implementation. The design also contains the methodology.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. I get it.
Mm.
So please continue.
Yeah, sorry for the mix up and
Chill,
lack
chill,
of
chill.
capability.
No, 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 man,
So
no, man. Chill.
here's the next one, which may be different than your average academic settings. Doing the research. I mean, usually this is the part where the most of the academic literature skip it. Like, I think this is the most important part of the research itself is doing the research, doing the test. Basically, what I mean is after you have this methodology and design, the test that you want to experiment that you want to test, you basically do it.
Yeah, of course.
You do the research. It seems easy, but you need to check what the progress. You have this time, you know, like you have this timeline, the plan from the design itself. Like, you need to check the progress. Is it feasible or not? Like, is there any problem? Is there any obstacle to it? And this thing could change the way that you do research. For example, if you have experiment and then you determine, oh, this experiment cannot answer this question because the very first thing the very purpose of this doing this research is to answer a research question, right? uh, and so, for example, like if you want to memorize Al Quran, and then sorry, not okay, let's try something else. Like let's if you want to experiment
Mhm.
with battery, but you cannot procure, for example, like one of the types of battery, for example, like let's say there are batteries that are uranium type of stuff, but you can procure it. That's an obstacle, right, in your progress of research, doing the research itself. And so you might want to go back to the design and change a little bit in there, right? And it's
Okay,
fine.
so I mean, it sounds kind of trial and error stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if I mean, there are difference between the test. The test doesn't come the way that you want to be, and the test does cannot be tried because there are some obstacle in your plan. Yeah, so basically what I mean is it feasible doing this experiment, uh, as to time and resource? Basically, do you have man resource to do it? Do you have resource of time resource, and do you have money resource maybe? That's one of
Funding.
the problem. Yeah, funding resource. That's kind of the problem of the doing the research. It could be obstacle in when doing the research itself. The design may be very pristine, very beautiful made, but if doing the research uh, is going to be unfeasible, you might as well go back to the design and change a little bit in there. uh yeah, so you can always go back, like go back into the design. Maybe in methodology you found out something new, and then you need to go back to literature review. Or even if you have found that the design or the methodology is uh not good enough to answer the question, maybe you should go back to selection topic and change a little bit there. It's not waterfall process. Is very much iterative
Agile or
process.
not agile? Agile.
Yeah, yeah, not agile. I mean, it's very much agile too. But yeah, that's doing the research part. And then after doing the research, of course, you have the results, right? I mean, this is the the one of the yeah. This is important.
Yeah, of
And
course.
you write the result and you analyze the result. This is the basics of. You already knew it, but writing is writing and analyzing is just
We
analyzing using
don't.
the.
I
Hmm,
think we don't have to, you know,
talk about much
narrow.
about it.
No, no, no. I don't think we
Hmm.
don't have to narrow to riding. We can maybe make a video about it, or maybe we can. Yeah, it isn't limited to riding, I guess, because right now you can.
Well, oh yeah. I mean that's right. I mean what I mean when writing the result is you knock down the
I
result
think
that you have from the
documenting.
research.
I don't know.
No,
Maybe
no,
that's
look.
your taste. So it is up to you, of course. But anyway, you
Hmm,
can continue.
maybe like
Yeah, I mean,
writing.
writing is the same as the explanations of the whole steps that you just taken.
Well, I mean, if you have the data, you should have save it somewhere in
Oh,
your
so
in
it is
your
basically a re-earn.
yeah, basically just recording the data. Basically,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have the
yeah, yeah,
record
yeah.
of the
Yeah,
data,
record of the
and
data.
analyzing is just analyzing the result.
Yeah.
And based on the result itself, you can might as well go back to research methodology and design if you felt that the result aren't aren't good enough to answer the research question. And by that I mean you can go all the way back to the research topic if you want to, if you felt that you are if you need to, basically. For
I
example,
see.
like yeah. And then and then you can go to the conclusion and future works. It's basically you have to need summary of the research, what is the limitation and future work. I believe you cannot expect a perfect research itself within your environment and your scope of research. And so this is one of it. To be fair, in generally, you don't need to write down this limitation and future works. You just need the summary of your research, basically. Yeah, I mean, for example, if I just if I personally just want to research about how can I memorize Al Quran, I probably just have some kind of notes defining what I found in my research. Basically,
That's
I don't
true.
have to write the limitation of future work. This is just for academic settings, right? I mean, academic setting you have to, because you have to uh, contribute to society, right?
That's right.
Um, and after that, maybe you do some documentation, and also this documentation doesn't have to be after conclusion. You kind of want to write it down in these steps, like in this all these steps. It depends. If you are not academic settings, you probably doesn't have to write it rigorously. For example, like you don't have to worry about grammar and stuff. You just want to write the result itself, like the idea itself, rather than worrying about the grammar and ensuring other people can replicate it well, as long as well reasonable, of course. But as an academic setting, what you might want to do is drafting, and then uh, I know this is sounds like drafting and final report, and maybe you change a little bit, go back into drafting. But I think the way that in my opinion, there are no such thing as final report for me. There are only version at drafting and that you send out to people. That's what I think.
So
Uh,
there is no final version in your.
I, Usually for me, I think there are no final version. Like it's just the continuing drafting until it's good enough for everyone.
I see. I see. That's a good
And that mm,
mindset there.
yeah, I mean,
Revise all the times.
yeah, just revise out.
Ah.
I mean, when it's good enough for general purpose, like you might disseminate it as a final report. For other people, it is final report, but for me, it's just the newest version of drafting. Like uh, since nobody is perfect, and there's no. I mean, the end is only when you decide to stop the research itself.
All right. Okay.
And lastly, the sharing and dissemination in academic setting. You might. This is the part where if you want to share it or not share it, the research itself. For example, if you like, if this is your personal research and you don't really have felt the need to sharing other, that's fine. I mean, just write it down, maybe, or maybe in your head, maybe in your any kind of medium, really. But the point that I want to take is, if you decide to share to other people, maybe contributing to society, you might want to make sure the audience, for example, like you don't have to write if you go to the general audience, you might have to write some better term, like explain some niche term, but if you go,
SAIE.
yeah, yeah.
What?
SJIE, yeah, for
Oh,
example,
wait.
yeah, if you
What?
yeah, well, I mean, if you want to show it for general term, you might to explain some of the niche concept. But if you writing for very specific kind of audience, maybe you can omit some kind of concept to be in there. And the medium also matters too. If you want to be put it on journal, you might have to adhere specific kind of format in that journal, basically. But if you aren't, maybe if you want to make it as in the video format, like in YouTube or something, you might as well go with your idea and flow. And lastly, you need to presenting your research. Presenting means that in any form, really, it's also same as Medium, but Medium just for the medium, but the presented research is about you trying to share it to other people, basically.
I see. I
Yeah.
see.
And
Market.
so
Yeah.
that's the general idea of practical guideline for general research.
I
What do you think?
see.
Yeah, you have any
Market
idea? Do you have any
research.
question on it?
Yo, you see, this kind of crazy, you know. You literally
Mhm.
make the whole diagram about this topic. It's kind of. I really, really, appreciate this work. It is. I
Thanks.
think it requires a lot of work. So you see, I think it is pretty much correct for my, at least, um, perspective.
Mhm.
and yeah, research and stuff. And I think, have you ever, it's kind of meta here. Do you
Okay.
have, you know, do you do research about creating research before you
Right.
write this
Good.
research?
Actually, that is good question. I like meta things, like meta cognitive and meta.
Metaverse.
This is meta search basically. Yeah. I mean, this is actually part of. So yeah, this is actually like kind of like meta research. So the question that I was kind of research question that I was kind of thought of was like, so there are many kinds of research, right? For math research and scientific experiment and stuff like that. But some of scientific experiment doesn't match with some of the research that we do here. For example, scientific research needs to have hypothesis, right? And you conduct scientific experiment. However, in math research, you don't have to do that. So what is the current what is the meaning of research? Like that's the question that I want to answer. And how do you do it? How would you do it? Some people have trouble when picking research topic selection because they might not know what's in their topic, in the topic itself, right? And that's why, like, I think about this and I do some research. Like, for example, I mean, the research is not really a research; it's more like a study. Like because I stopped in literature review.
I
uh
see.
yeah, I mean, but it could be called research if you want to, but since it's systemic study. But the way that I think is, I just, oh yeah, I have this question that I want to answer for myself, and I read some background, what is the current state of the art, and no, not really, this is not really, but the theoretical background is already answered the research question. So I stopped there, and made this diagram.
Randy,
And
so that
that's right. Hmm?
do you think that conventional or most of the conventional research
Hmm?
actually work like uh,
This.
the researchers would like to find something that is not unconfirmed with the previous steps, simply like
Hmm?
creating research design, okay,
Hmm?
like what you said just now. Maybe, for example, you presented, we cannot get uranium as the material of our battery, so we
Okay.
go back to the previous steps, which are the choosing research methodology and creating research design.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
do you think that this is how most research work like that?
Well, I mean, yes, basically, like if you aren't able to procure the resource, you might go back to research design and change something there. Like you say, like the example, like uranium battery. Uh, if the research question has as the if you want to ask like, yeah, if you want to test like
Oh no.
how can we test the I want to know how uranium battery works in the research question. You might, but you cannot do it's not feasible to test it. You might stop the research at first to gain some kind of resource, at maybe funding for other people, because you cannot do research without the resource.
Okay, so
That's how
what
the
I
world.
asked is that do
Hmm.
you think that many researchers
Hmm?
should experience kind of that?
Oh my
May,
god.
should kind of, maksudnya, what do you mean, like, do
Maksudnya.
you
Well, I mean, do you think that uh,
common?
it is it is normal or common to have obstacles in the middle of research and you need to go back and look
Oh,
like your research
I mean,
kind of fail at the first stage?
that's right. Yeah, yeah. I think it's common. Yeah, it's pretty common, I guess, because that uranium battery is kind of like the extreme example. But for example, in my bachelor thesis, I was supposed to have this three data, right? But the time to gather all the data was not feasible enough. So I decided to reduce it into like only one data sets, basically. That's one of the common example on doing research. Uh, yeah, I think that's
Wait,
fair.
so
Hmm?
you was you know, you
Hmm?
was thinking to make this certain threshold, you know, 3 data sets, and then you reduce it to one.
Yeah, by reducing the scope and stuff like that.
Why
For
don't
example,
you? All right, all
hmm?
right, okay. For
Yeah,
example, what?
because
Hmm.
he said that he had trouble
Yeah, you know,
at
kind of.
three practices.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, it was kind of crazy because people, you know, used to make the least effort to,
Ah, you're right.
but you try to make it three at first. So yeah, it was.
Well, it is like, I mean, people might try to have the least effort possible. However, what if the least effort possible doesn't answer the research question? You
Oh, I
might
see.
want
I
to
see.
change about that. You might want to add more, in fact, sometimes. But the feasibility thing is, if you have this idea of doing research, but turns out you cannot do it, you might want to change your design, or even maybe your method. For example, like, let's say you want to test this algorithm, right? I mean, sorry, Andrea, but this is going to be computer
Test.
science related. Test this algorithm, but it turns out when testing in this way, in this method, you want, in this design, you want to try to method of brute forcing it, but it turns out the brute forcing takes too much resource, computer resource. You might want to not doing it any again, for example, something like that.
I see.
Uh,
I see.
you might want to do some AI, like large language model like ChatGPT, but turns out you don't have money to do it, so you you need to scale down the research. So
Yeah,
yeah,
finding
anything could
is one
happen.
of the problem. Yeah.
Okay,
Anything could
so
happen.
what I get is that the revisions of our research is actually normal, so we don't need to worry about it and just keep going.
Yeah, just make sure your research question
All
is
right,
answerable.
Andra. What is the step in your thesis right now? In this case.
The my steps taken in my uh, the steps taken in my thesis is, yeah, you are right. The first is similar with what Rendia just said. It's about research topic selections and turns down to literature review. Okay, all right. So yeah, we need some literature to actually strengthen our statement in making project for thesis.
No, no,
And
no. What's your current
Yeah,
state
state. I mean, are you in the doing the research phase, or are you in the
or
result and
result?
discussions phase, or are you still in the literature review phase?
uh,
Oh, that's
yeah,
really crazy.
I think that right now I'm still doing for research.
Oh, doing the
Oh,
research
doing the research,
phase.
nice.
Research, yes.
I
I
see.
But
mean,
yeah,
I,
but sometimes it can be going back to literature review
yeah, yeah. That's
because
that's fine.
you see, yeah, Redia is true.
Hmm.
Sometimes we face some obstacles in the middle of research that we think this data is gone. I mean, this data cannot be retrieved. This data is unretrievable. So we should change the previous steps to confirm the further steps taken.
Hmm.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah.
see.
So yeah. So basically, when you said, "Are you still in relative review phase?" I don't think that's necessarily meant that he were in the very first step. I mean, the very beginning step. You know, like it could be something happening in the next step. So you would want to retrace back into relative review,
Yeah, that's true.
and that's fine, I guess. For example, this method cannot be used, so I need to change it by other method. So I need to read more about it, something like that.
I see. I see. I see.
Yeah. So that's all that I could share right now. Do you guys have any anything to add, maybe?
Yo, you know, so what is that green circle there?
Oh, it's a portal.
What portal? Oh my god, that's a portal. Oh, I see, that's a portal. I've just realized it. Do you realize it, Andra? Did you realize
Sorry,
it?
what?
You
This is a
know
portal.
this portal stuff. Do you realize it?
Yeah, this portal is actually connected between, yeah, the below and the research methodology design.
Yeah,
No,
just
no, no. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's true,
Uh,
but I've just realized it when I asked Randy.
maybe I should do. Do you have idea to make this more noticeable? Like, oh,
More
so this is a
understandable.
understandable.
Yeah, it's
What
just.
I trying to convey was this all steps you can always document it as a
Yeah,
drafting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I see, I see, I see, I see.
Yeah.
So I guess.
Well, but
Um.
I think that yeah, this I mean the summary or steps that you just presented is the summary of the whole project, right? I mean, it couldn't be uh, some references for us when we wanna research something, and yeah,
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
and it's okay if you kind of have the question answer in the literature review because it makes things easier. You can stop there if you want to. Like, you don't have to go all the way to the uh, doing research and documentation and stuff. You can always stop in here if you want to. And I think this two step is kind of like the study of in your courses or in your school, basically. Just the two. You have this book, you want to read it and learn it for quite a while, and then yeah, so basically learning. This two step is the learning process.
Oh,
The
learning.
this Yeah, this step is the experimental and generating new knowledge stuff.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's why it is called as a research, because
Hmm.
we need to experiment something. Then if we just wanna everything works as we expected,
Hmm.
then I think it's almost impossible, because what we call research, it should be tested in the first place. Is it
Hmm.
uh, does it work or not?
Tested, yeah, probably, yeah, but I don't think, yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's not really be called experiment. It's more about how your well, yeah, I guess it's called research experiment, but for me it's the design that you work out in the research. Yeah.
I see, I see, I
Hmm.
see.
I
Yeah,
see.
I think that's enough for me, I guess.
So Andra, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, what do you think of about this presentation in overall? What do you get from this
Yeah,
presentation?
that, from the first stages, from the first stages, uh, there are the stages that are required for all the research. However, when it comes to research methodology and design, yeah, we may skip if it's just theoretical research. Is it true, Ren? And
Hmm.
for example, like I just designed the plant, chemical plant, and
Hmm.
well, I think that I don't need to test is the plant really visit. I mean, does it will it work in actual place or not? It just turns out that just needs to uh, make sure the calculations is confirmed with the
Hmm.
theoretical. But in actual, we still don't know, because it should be the plan should be done in actual basis.
Hmm.
Okay, it's different when I researched the let's say the water composition when I was in D3 or D3.
Hmm.
Yeah, I actually did some laboratory works.
Hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, I just retrieved some data in terms of the uh, ferro. What is ferro?
It is still.
Yeah, still,
So,
and from the solubility
hmm.
of the water, and from the oxygens in the water, etc. And yeah, all the numbers actually are processed, and yeah, we until we get the conclusion. Yeah, that's really true.
One thing that I might add, because it's already 3 p.m., sorry, Adil and
Still,
all.
it's still 15 minutes or 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, one thing that I might add, this is not this is one thing that I want to add is actually this, in practice, you usually have this one stage more that is gaining the funds,
Oh
getting the
my god.
research.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Be-
yeah. That's true.
yeah. I should, you see, I plan to make a book from this, like make
Wait,
a book.
for real?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's
Okay, okay.
probably not going to be. I don't know if I want to sell it because I don't have any.
Yeah.
Like
Publisher.
I don't have the experiment.
Well, I mean,
Sorry, experience.
yeah, I'm ready to be your quality control.
Thank you,
Ah,
thank you. But
editor, editor.
I don't think it will sell well
Edi-
because I don't have
editor, editor
experience.
sutradara.
Oh yeah, no, no.
Oh,
But what I mean is, I don't think this would sell well because this is for myself, probably not for everyone. Not for selling because first of all, I don't have experience. I don't have the credibility to answer if this good enough. You know, like for example, like usually the one who made this book is already experienced researcher, right? And
uh,
I just a green, like a green, still green leaf. You know, I cannot expect people agree with this. You know, like however, one thing that I want to add is how to gain funding, you know, like how to gain resource itself. But I
I
think
see.
I'm not good enough to answer that question because you see the research that I conducted is personal, mainly personal ones, like rather than academic setting. Maybe you are, Adil, the one, and Andra the one who qualified to write this stuff.
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I don't know.
I
well, I
don't
think
know.
that Adil should be because he's master candidate same as Hikmah, but I'm
Hmm.
still D3 D3 graduate, so yeah, I'm still following up both of you guys.
Oh, I see. Good luck,
Yeah,
Andra.
and good luck. After all, but I mean that's the part where feasibility, right? I mean you cannot. I mean I just write this because I interested with it, and then this is the where my resource limitations
Yeah,
ends.
I kind
Okay.
of really related with this
Hmm.
feasibility. So you see, my
And
original idea when I want to do
hmm,
my doctoral degree, it was,
hmm,
doing cheating detection algorithm
yeah,
and
cheating.
stuff, right? But
Hmm,
after, yeah, like maybe 1 week ago, I consult with my supervisor
hmm,
and I want to say, hey, I want to collect data about cheating, and I'm going to do it by putting a hidden surveillance camera in a
hmm,
classroom when an exam happens. So
yeah,
I asked her about that idea, and she said, I think that is really hard to do, Adil. There are two
yeah.
reasons why it will be hard. First of all, our current proctoring mechanism is very tight in offline setting. You see,
Hmm.
Ren, you remember, right? When we had exam, there are, I guess,
Many
three
things.
invigilane, three proctors, you know, assistant teaching assistants looking at us whatsoever, and then yeah, it was hard, at least for computer science students faculty. And again, if I were to put a hidden camera somewhere in a class, I think the chance for me to capture students that cheat is low.
Hmm.
And if there were any, it will be very little. And because it is little, it will become an imbalanced data set, and the pattern won't be really clear, right? Because maybe
Yeah,
it's
that's so.
only 1 out of 1,000, or yeah, it was along that number. So it will be very hard to make an algorithm if the dataset itself doesn't support.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
also, wait, what do you want to say?
yeah. I mean, the idea was nice and all, but it's very hard to do.
Yeah,
It's unfeasible.
I was trying to say that, hey, why don't we did an exam? Why don't we do an exam where there are no proctors at all? And after I
Hmm.
think about it, my supervisor won't like the idea, because
One like that.
why would a lecturer let the students cheat? So I think,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, and the second reason is the main reason why it won't be feasible at all. So she
Hmm.
said that if we want to collect data, we have to make a consent statement. So we basically ask the cheater to let us, publish the data that he or she has cheated.
Yeah,
Although it was anonym, you have to
anonymous.
make a consent statement that it is, you know,
Uh,
it is
Anonymous
permissible. Also,
to cheat.
yeah, I mean, also the data set was the name, the student's number are hidden, are, you know, you kind of delete it. You still
Mm.
have to make sure that they agree about that
Mm.
anonymous data sets. Yeah, it was really, really uh, relatable when you say feasibility.
Yes, I mean, that's kind of the point that I was making there. But yeah, that's right. And to be fair, like in my current way, I'm still, while I could not do what I want in this, like writing this book. That's as well. Maybe I just going to, just make it drafting. I mean, uh, the point of this, all of this, is just to answer question, and if things are not answerable, if things not being able to do, if you cannot able to do it, maybe in the future I will be. So what I did is just writing the current results, writing the current, what I did today and what I did tomorrow, maybe. Uh, that's why I call this, there are no final report, it's just a report that sends to other people. It's something like that, just a current version of the results. And lastly, about the research question, make sure your research question are answerable. At least, you don't want a question that unanswerable. It's not answerable. Like, you don't want that, because what's the point of
Yeah, of course.
answering the.
And
Yeah,
this,
for example, in your example, like cheating, like uh how can you test the cheating, if people, if you cheating supposed to be, I don't know. I don't know how to say this, but how you can test the cheating? I don't understand. Like, how can you test the cheating? Like, how can you do you ask people cheating, or I don't know.
wait,
I want to ask to you, Adil. Like, how do you test like people cheating?
well, first
Like,
of all, you put a hidden surveillance camera, and then you watch through the camera whether there are any students that cheat. It's
cheats.
like, oh yeah, he kind of,
Oh.
cooperate with the person besides him, or whether he
Mm.
takes a look at his phone, or whether he, I don't know, give a sign to the person somewhere.
Ah,
Yeah,
I see.
that's
Yeah,
and
the point
you.
is detect detecting the interaction
Yeah, that's true. The
while
activity, the
same
interaction, that's correct. It's like a fraud
Mm.
detection actually, but
or
fraud
next is going on.
detection is very, very common, at least for the
Mm.
data set. But for cheating, it isn't feasible anywhere. It isn't available anywhere. So yeah.
Y- Yeah, and I mean, what I mean is, if what I want to ask actually, like, if you found out the result is not, they are not cheating, they are nobody cheat at all, is that mean you are detecting, is that mean nobody is cheating, or is it your current method of cheating detection is not detecting at all,
Oh,
something like that? Yeah.
well, if I think what you wait, let me understand your question. So you ask
Mm.
me if my machine learning model, my AI model, doesn't detect anything in the data sets that
Yeah.
hasn't been collected, are my
That,
model is, kind of, uh, you know, kind of true that
mm.
it can detect cheating or not? Is it that's your question? Is that your question?
What I mean, so let me rephrase it in my own example, right? So my thesis consists of non-financial financial data that have been not been labeled, right? So
Oh yeah.
imagine a data that has not been, you don't know the real one, you don't know the result of the real one, whether it's a fraud or not, whether it's outlier or not. You don't know that. You just only know, uh, you only have this method that you want to test. However, you don't know the ground truth. And so far, the question, if you ask me, which one is the outlier, right? I mean, which one is the fraud one? If you ask me that, there are no answer. I mean, there are probably not a very not very not no answer for the general case. They only answer with caveats. For example, the answer would be, from this test there are no cheating. So, for example,
Oh, I see.
yeah.
I see. I see.
So if you ask something like, does anybody cheat in this test, you cannot answer that, at least in general term, like something like that.
Oh,
So
I see.
you might want to rephrase it like, using this test, can you detect if somebody cheat or not, something like that. No, 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 no. From this test, can you what are the characteristic of somebody cheat or not, something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. I see. Yeah, yeah, I see. I
So
see.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, what it is kind of tangent, but the real point is like, there are some question that you cannot answer, so don't put it on your research
I see.
question.
All right,
That's
all right.
what I
I
mean.
get it. So,
That's
Andra, do you have any question?
Well, I think that what I get is that when the research of Adil, right, about the cheating detections. Okay, for example, just now when the result of the detections is that there's no cheaters in the exam, it can be meant as two results. The first, yes, it is no cheaters in the exam indeed, or the second, the system of detecting the cheaters is error.
yes,
So,
flawed.
well, I mean that this is something that yeah, you may evaluate
Mm,
and is concerned about.
I see. I see.
yeah, I think that's enough, I guess, for
Yeah,
today.
since that's enough for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again next year. So,
Next year? Oh yeah,
yeah,
next year, because tomorrow is the New
yeah.
Year.
So,
Yeah.
again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks all.